Redwire has spent the past year quietly transforming itself from a pure space infrastructure supplier into a space and defense company. And the part that's driving that transformation isn't a satellite or solar array or anything that's operating in orbit. It's drones. And that matters because Redwire's new defense business is already nearly half of its quarterly revenue. And it's growing far faster than the legacy space business is, and it may actually be the engine that funds the company's long-term ambitions. But that makeover hasn't come free. Redwire is still burning cash, they're still diluting shareholders, and they're still asking investors to believe that today's defense growth can eventually support tomorrow's space opportunity. Well, in this video, you're going to learn what Redwire has actually become, why its drone business changes the investment case, and how that shift could affect Redwire stock from here. But before we begin, if you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Rick Orford. I'm a Wall Street Journal best-selling author, been trading since 1999, and no, I'm not a financial advisor. But that's a good thing, because I'm right here with you, breaking down the numbers so retail investors like us can make smarter, more confident decisions with our money. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. And you all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by almost 6 times. Go to fool.com/RickO to get your 10 stock picks right now. Okay, so last time I covered Redwire, the big question was whether the real winners in space would actually be the companies building the equipment that operates in orbit, rather than the companies lighting the rockets. And that thesis still holds up. But something important has shifted since then, and it changes how I think that investors should read the entire Redwire story. Redwire isn't really just a space company anymore. Over the past year, it's quietly becoming a space and defense company. And the defense side is now growing much faster than the space business is. And a lot of the stock's recent momentum traces back to a business I barely touched on last time. That's drones. And that's why today I want to walk you through what Redwire has become and whether the defense turn makes the long-term case stronger or just simply more complicated. Now, before I get into the numbers, I do want to explain why I'm making this follow-up video. About a year ago, I had Redwire on my watch list and I passed on it. I saw what a lot of other investors probably saw. It looked like an embryonic space company burning cash on ideas that might pay off sometime in the next decade. The tech, interesting. I mean, there's a lot of interesting companies making, but the financial profile, it wasn't. So I moved on. Then I checked back recently and the stock had already put together some of the solid runs without me. And when I dug into what was driving that move, it actually surprised me because it had far less to do with space than I had actually expected. That slow burn space company I had filed away, so to speak, had quietly become something else. And that's a lesson I keep relearning. Sometimes a company stops being the story you originally filed it under. The name and the ticker stay the same, but the economics sometimes, well, at least the economics underneath it sometimes begin to change. And that's exactly what happened here. Now, before I do go any further, I do want to give a shout out to my community. It's becoming one of the fastest growing investing communities on YouTube because of folks like you. There, we talk about specific companies, what they're doing, and even options trading every single day. Best part is it's completely free to join. Just scan the QR code right here on the screen or check for and click the link in the description. Now, going back, Redwire's entire pivot comes down to one major deal. Last year, Redwire completed its $925 million acquisition of Edge Autonomy. This company builds combat-tested drones, mainly the Stalker and Penguin product lines. But before the deal, most investors saw Redwire as a spacecraft infrastructure supplier. Afterwards, it suddenly had a second business almost as large as the first, by quarterly revenue. And you can see the change directly in the first quarter 2026 numbers. The space segment generated about $52.7 million in revenue, while this new defense tech segment brought in $44.3 million. A year earlier, defense tech generated only $9.3 million. That works out to growth of about 380% year over year. So the part of Redwire that almost nobody was talking about is now close to half the company, and it's doing most of the heavy lifting on growth. The difference, though, between these drones and perhaps the far-off space projects I covered last time is straightforward. The drones generate meaningful revenue today. They're already flying with real military customers, unlike technology that may take years or perhaps even decades to reach commercial scale. The long-term space opportunity is still probably most likely enormous, but Edge Autonomy, this deal gives Redwire current demand, repeat buyers, and a clearer path to near-term revenue. And that repeat buying part may actually be the most important signal in this video. In defense, repeat orders often say more than a flashy first contract. They suggest a product has moved beyond the trial and into normal operations. And Redwire is beginning to show that pattern. During the quarter, the company landed more than $20 million in purchase orders tied to a Marine Corps drone program, including the Marines' first purchase of a new Stalker model. But then, Redwire added another $15 million follow-on Stalker order from the U.S. Army's 1st Aviation Brigade. And that was the third such order in 8 months, pushing recent Army Stalker bookings to about $24.8 million. The company also received a multi-year high 8-figure award to deliver next-generation Penguin drones to a NATO country. Well, that progression matters because defense products, well, they can become sticky once they're built into training and daily operations. And replacing an established system can be very expensive. So a satisfied buyer they've got a strong reason to keep ordering them. And for Redwire, drones may be becoming recurring demand rather than isolated sales. And you can see this momentum in the order book as well. Redwire booked $186.5 million in new contracts during the quarter against $97 million of revenue. And that produced a book-to-bill ratio of 1.92. This is the value of new orders with the revenue recognized during the same period. Anything above 1 means that orders are arriving faster than the company is converting them into revenue. It's a good thing. Total backlog reached almost $500 million. That's a record. And that improves visibility, but backlog is certainly not cash. An order creates value only when Redwire delivers, when it recognizes the revenue and earns an acceptable return. And that execution becomes even more important when I look at the next opportunity. Earlier this year, Redwire was selected for the Missile Defense Agency's SHIELD program. This vehicle carries a ceiling of about $151 billion and connects Redwire to the Golden Dome Missile Defense Initiative. But that enormous figure does need to be read carefully. SHIELD is a multi-award vehicle, so multiple contractors are allowed to compete for smaller task orders that are underneath the broader program. Redwire itself has said that the award on its own doesn't guarantee any revenue. So this is a foot in the door, not money in the bank. Redwire, though, they can now compete for future work that's tied to a major defense initiative. And that creates optionality, but the entire ceiling doesn't belong to Redwire. And this is where investors can get into trouble with these smaller defense names. The relevant number here is the work that Redwire actually wins and converts into profitable revenue. So SHIELD strengthens the opportunity set, but the existing drone orders are still the more concrete part of today's thesis. Now, stepping back, first quarter 2026 revenue hit almost $100 million, and it was up about 58% year over year. Gross margin improved to 26.6% from 14.7%. And this is just what remains after the direct cost of purchasing the company's goods and services are. And that margin improvement may actually matter more than the revenue increase itself. And that's because fast growth becomes far more valuable when each dollar of revenue contributes more towards overhead, research, and eventually profit. But the scary headline was the company's $76.5 million net loss. But most of that loss didn't come from the underlying business. More than $44 million of it came from non-recurring activity, including a $42.5 million charge tied to stock compensation from that Edge Autonomy deal. So once those items are removed, the picture looks far less extreme, though it still isn't perfectly healthy. Adjusted EBITDA came in at negative $9.2 million. This is a measure that companies use to show operating performance before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, and certain other adjustments. Now, defense tech generated positive adjusted EBITDA, while space remained negative. And that split here is central to today's thesis. The defense business isn't replacing the space story. It's actually becoming the business that may actually help finance it. Redwire maintained its full year 2026 revenue outlook of between 450 and 500 million and ended the quarter with about 175.2 million in total liquidity, including 144.5 million in cash and equivalents. Now, if you like Redwire but think just right now the stock is too expensive at today's price, well, if that's the case, check this video up here, because I talk about how you can sell a put option on a stock you want to own and get paid to wait for it to maybe come down to your price. But here's the kicker. If it does come down to your price, you buy the shares at that lower level and you are paid to wait. Now, valuation is only one risk, but another is how Redwire is funding this transformation. And the clearest concern here is dilution. Paying for the drone expansion and covering ongoing losses has required the company to issue new shares, and that share count has climbed significantly over the past year. Dilution means every existing shareholder owns a smaller percentage of the company as more shares get created. So the growth is real, but it's spread across more and more shares. If Redwire keeps issuing stock, the business may actually expand faster than the value of each share themselves. There's also the government budget risk. A meaningful budget of revenue depends on public spending, so shutdowns or funding delays can push orders between quarters. And that's already happened once, so quarterly results may be a little lumpy even if the long-term demand stays intact. And then we've got execution. A record backlog only matters if Redwire can manufacture, deliver, and collect cash without letting costs outrun revenue. And free cash flow was still negative for the quarter. That's the unresolved part of this entire makeover. Redwire has built a faster growing company, but it hasn't proved that the new structure can consistently produce cash. So yes, the Edge Autonomy turn doesn't replace the original thesis. It actually might fund it. The space economy still needs years to develop, and Redwire now has a revenue-generating drone business that's supporting the company while that opportunity matures. And that kind of makes Redwire more investable, right? Doesn't it? Than it was a year ago. But of course, it doesn't make the stock simple. Investors today are now buying, well, three things: a growing drone platform, a long-duration space opportunity, and a management team that still has to control dilution and, of course, generating cash. For a long-term investor who can tolerate volatility, this could be a reasonable entry point into a genuine growth story. But that's provided that the position is sized for that possibility that profitability slips into next year. The upside case is that defense tech keeps winning repeated orders and that margins improve and that drones give Redwire enough financial strength to stay invested in space. But the downside case is that the backlog converts too slowly, that cash burn persists, and that shareholders keep funding the transformation through dilution. So the updated thesis here is not that Redwire abandoned space for defense. It's that the company bought a defense engine that may carry the space business long enough for that original opportunity to arrive. But now I want to turn it over to you. Do you think Redwire's defense pivot makes the company more valuable? Or is it, let's say, mission drift that's wearing a growth costume? And before I go, did I get any of this right? Did I forget something? Let me know all of that and more in the comments below. And while you're there, if you found the video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe because it really does help others find the video. It supports the channel and it makes sure that you don't miss out on my next deep dive. Well, that's it for me today in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again here on YouTube or in my community. Bye for now.